Hello and welcome to a journey of clarity, a personal exploration of getting in tune with yourself and in tune with others with your host, Dr. Natanael Costea. This is a journey of emotional and spiritual awareness, of discovering what life truly means, and a clear shift from an ego-driven world to a meaning-driven world. I believe we can become more in tune with our thoughts, our emotions, and our spirituality. And as we do that, we will make better decisions, have deeper connections, more fulfillment, and even more joy. This is A Bit of Clarity.
G'day and welcome to another episode of A Bit of Clarity. Natanael Costea is my name and I welcome you. It's such a joy and a privilege and a responsibility for me to share this message with you. Let me begin with this question. When you get to do something new that you haven't done before, it's unfamiliar, you have to go to another place or try something totally new, what do? Are you afraid? Do you panic? Do you hold back? Do you ask more questions? Do you want to know all the details? Do you want a breakdown of all the actions required? Do you feel threatened? Do you feel fearful? Do you need a lot of explanations? Or are you like a child who just gets excited and just goes for it and wants to try new things, even though they may seem difficult, even though they don't know what it entails? Are you excited about trying new things, learning new things, experiencing new things? Or are you pretty much set in your ways and pretty comfortable in the way things are at the moment? What is your attitude towards new things? What is your attitude towards technology? What is your attitude towards making new friends? What is your attitude towards traveling somewhere or doing something that you haven't done before? What is your attitude towards a new hobby or maybe doing a new sport or trying something that you haven't tried before? Do you hold back or are you open to try new things? It's very important to ask ourselves these questions, and you know why? Because this tells us a lot about our mindset. And today we are talking about mindsets, and I hope you don't mind me asking all these questions because they are relevant to the topic we're addressing today. So, there are two types of mindsets. I'm sure there are many others, but we're going to reflect on two major mindsets. And one is a fixed mindset, and the other one is a growth mindset, somebody that is open to learning new things. So, our attitude defines so much the way we look at life, at the challenges that come before us, at the possibilities, at the opportunities that are presented to us. The way we engage with them, our attitude determines if we will do something or we will hold back, if we will engage or we will refrain from doing the actual thing. So today, in your show notes, if you haven't discovered that until now, I just want to encourage you, there are show notes to go with this. At eq.org.au you will find the show notes, and pretty much what I present here is there in a very short form. It's good for you to reflect, to look back upon, and also to follow through. So if you haven't done that yet, just look in the link wherever you're consuming this material, and click on the link and download these notes so you can follow through with me. I'm just going to share with you, and I'm going to read it out, but then I will explain it as well. So when we're talking about growth mindset, so today we want to develop this understanding of a growth mindset, and we refer back to Professor Carol Dweck from Stanford University. She wrote a book called Mindset, and she proposed to us a definition about a growth and a fixed mindset. So I will just read this out to you right now. So Professor Carol Dweck describes people who believe that their success depends on time and effort as having a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset, she says, feel their skills and intelligence can be improved with effort and persistence. They embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, learn from criticism, and seek out inspiration in others' success. That's a person who has a growth mindset. So they embrace challenges. So if the challenge comes their way, they're not afraid. It's almost like bring it on. I'm ready for this. My mind is ready to engage in a new challenge, in a new battle. They persist through obstacles. Yes, they face obstacles every time they push the comfort zone. You know, they're in a comfort zone. Everybody gets in a comfort zone, but a person with a growth mindset pushes the boundaries of the comfort zone, and this comfort zone expands to the next level. So every obstacle is an opportunity to push further, to push more out of the comfort zone. And then when you push out of the comfort zone and you've overcome that obstacle, the new area of your influence, or the new area, becomes your comfort zone. So your comfort zone now has expanded, has grown past that challenge. So your comfort zone is now a lot greater, a lot bigger, because you've overcome a challenge. So just think about these circles, this ripple effect of comfort zone. And then another challenge comes your way, and if you overcome that challenge as well, you embrace it and you go through it and you overcome it, then your zone of comfort grows even further. So all of a sudden you become a person who just continually grows and develops, because you are not inhibited by the challenges that come your way. She also said that they learn from criticism. So if somebody gives us some negative feedback or criticize us, she's saying these people who have a growth mindset, they learn from that chastening, if you want, or if somebody gives them some feedback that is negative or they criticize, they sit, they ponder on it, and they move on. They learn from that, and they're not drawn into a downward spiral, but they grow out of that, and they use that as fuel to engage, to develop, to grow, and to overcome that which they were criticized for the future, so they develop further. And they also are inspired by other people's success. So when they see other people being successful out there, they get inspired. They're not jealous or envious. So this is beautiful. So we want to have a growth mindset. So let me explain to you what is the opposite of a growth mindset. Well, the opposite of a growth mindset is a fixed mindset. So one is growing, the other one is fixed. And a fixed mindset describes people who see their qualities as fixed traits that cannot change. So basically they say, no, look, I know who I am, basically, and this is me, and I can't change, and I will not change. Pretty much this is my attitude. I'll stick to what I know. With a fixed mindset, talent is enough to lead to success, and effort to improve these talents isn't required. The skills and intelligence born with that cannot be improved upon is what they hold on to. So basically, a person who has a fixed mindset, they think everybody is born with some sort of a talent, some sort of innate ability, and pretty much that's it. They can't grow it, they can't develop it, they can't improve it. So basically, you're either born with it or you're not born with it. Your skills and intelligence is pretty much what God gifted you with, and you can't improve these. And a lot of the times they use excuses like, I can't do that, I could never do that, or my body's not made for that, or my mind can't be stretched that further, or my head just doesn't get it, I can't make sense of that, or that is too much for me, or that I don't even know how to turn a computer on. You know, all these excuses that are really fixed in their mind, and it blocks them. It really blocks them. But they are not real. They're only real in their own experience. So we don't want to have a fixed mindset, even though at times a little bit of a fixed mindset is helpful because it keeps us on the tight and narrow. But to experience life to the fullness, we got to move into a growth mindset, an attitude that embraces challenges and opportunities that come our way. Okay, so characteristics of a growth mindset. So I'm going to go through them. There's 10 of them. You're going to love them. And I want you to sort of check yourself as you hear this out, as I explain them to you, and see how well do you do with these. Can you tick them off? Are you at 40%, at 50%? Is there an area where you can improve? Is there something that you can apply in your life? Is it a tough test? Does it challenge you as you go through these, as you hear this? So be very open and allow them to sink deep inside of you, in the inner part of you, so you process them at a deep level and see if they can bring some abundant life in you, some massive shifts inside your decision making. Because everything comes back to decisions. Do we decide to have the right attitude towards this, or do we decide to block everything that comes our way? So the first characteristic of a growth mindset, number one, failure is an opportunity to grow. So to a person that wants to grow, a person that has a growth mindset, when they do face some sort of failure in their life, they see it as an opportunity to grow. They learn from their own mistakes. They don't see failure as final. They see failure as an experience out of which they can grow, they can develop, and hopefully not repeat that failure again. So, in fact, the sooner you experience some failures, the better it is, because you can improve and you can move on from those. So don't beat yourself over the head too much if you do fail in certain areas in your life. Learn from that and move on and grow from that experience. Let every failure in your life teach you a wonderful lesson, a life lesson out of which you grow. But don't repeat the failure, because that's like repeating the exam over and over again. So do learn as much as possible and grow out of it. So if you have a growth mindset, just remember this. Even though I may fail at something, I can learn something, I can grow from that experience. Number two, I love this. This is one of my favorites. I can learn anything I want. I can learn anything I want. Imagine if you have this attitude that whatever you put your head to, you could actually learn if you enter the process of educating yourself, of learning that skill or that new, whatever it is, ability that you want to develop, or that subject or knowledge or wisdom towards something. The greatest gift that God has given to humanity is something that can be quantified in time or money, and that is the human potential. The human potential is the greatest asset in the world by far. And no one has the right to limit yourself and your human potential, not even yourself. You are doing disfavor, if there's such a word, a massive, negative effect to yourself if you put a lid on your abilities and on your capacity to learn whatever you want. You can achieve absolutely anything you put your heart to. You can learn any skill, you can learn anything that is out there if you put your mind to it. So have the attitude that every challenge in your learning is an opportunity for you to grow. Challenge yourself to grow. Set yourself up goals every month. I don't know, let's say, if you want to do this, if you want to speak in public, for example, right? Just challenge yourself that once a week for 1 hour or 2 hours, you will listen to TED Talks, or you will listen, or you'll do a course about public speaking and engage with it. Let's say, set aside a block of 2 hours every week in doing that. And I guarantee you that in 6 months, you will be speaking in public, because there's something that you wanted to learn and you poured your energy and you focus into it, and you will see the results. You can learn just about anything you put your head to, even technology, even about mechanics, even about, I remember a young man, he was approached when the apps started coming into foreplay. And so the iPhone came up with, obviously, the smartphone. And back then, there were no smartphones. And this organization, not-for-profit in the US, it's a beautiful story. They got together in the boardroom and they said, look, we've heard about this new technology that's coming up. Can we make an app? Can we make a software? Can we do something amazing? And they said, well, yeah, I suppose we could do something. And they said, well, what can we do? And then they said, well, we can create an app with a Bible and release it to everybody for free. And they said, well, what will that entail? What will it take? Because nobody has done this before. And nobody knew what to do. And there was a 19-year-old boy who was just fresh out of high school, and he was just doing some part-time work in this organization. And he said, well, how hard can this be? I mean, can you imagine the attitude? No one's built apps. It was brand new. They've only heard that apps are being built. The iPhone just came out. And the attitude of this 19-year-old was this: how hard can this be? They said to him, well, why don't you start working on this? He started working on this, he got himself a full-time job, and before he knew it, they built this app. Well, I want you to know that this app has reached over 300 million people already in the world today. Because one 19-year-old had the attitude that I can learn anything I put my head to. So take this and ask yourself this question. Whatever challenge comes your way about learning, say, how hard can this be? Take this slogan, take this question from this young lad and say to yourself, how hard can this be? It's never too hard if you put your mind to it. So you can learn anything you want. Number 3, challenges help me grow. Once again, bring it on. When I overcome this challenge, I am a different person. I have grown, I have developed, I am an overcomer, I'm victorious. So whatever it is, challenge, bring it my way. Problem, bring it my way. Because the problem today is not going to be the problem of tomorrow. Because if I face the problem today, face on, head on, and I deal with it, that problem will no longer be a problem tomorrow. Tomorrow will be just something, another issue that I'm used to doing or a task that I'm familiar with. So embrace challenges because you know those help you grow. In fact, if you don't have challenges, look for challenges and set yourself some artificial challenges because they push you a bit further. If you have unchallenging days, I tell you what, you have a pretty boring life. So get challenges, embrace challenges because you'll have a lot more fun out there. Number 4, my effort and attitude determine my abilities. So not my success, not the end goal determine my abilities, but what effort and attitude I have towards the task, that determines my abilities. It's not so much about the end result. That is a side effect of my attitude and effort. If I put the right attitude, if I have the right effort, if I pour my energy, the result will come by itself. But I cannot get results with a poor attitude if I don't show up, if I don't put the energy. It will not happen. Nothing gets moved, nothing gets shifted, nothing gets transported, nothing gets, manipulated. Nothing happens if I don't put my ability and my effort and my attitude in the right place. So my abilities are not governed by what I can and cannot do, but they are governed by the effort that I put in. So I will enter the process for my abilities to shine. Number 5, frustration is normal and it means I am persevering. So it's normal to be frustrated, it's normal to be irritated, it's normal to be uncomfortable. These are part of your development, these are part of your growing. They are growing pains. So just embrace that. Know that it's normal to be a little bit irritated, to be frustrated. That means you are not giving up. That means you are persevering. That means you are resilient. That means you're getting up. That means you are going on no matter what. And that is the attitude you must have. Number 6, feedback is constructive. So if somebody gives you feedback, whether it's good or bad feedback, take it on as ammunition to build something with it. It's as somebody said, if somebody throws you lemons, make lemonade. If somebody throws a brick at you, build a house. Have the right attitude towards criticism, towards feedback, even though it hurts at the time, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's not pleasant at the time. There's something to learn from that feedback. There is something to build out of that confrontation. And be harsh on yourself. Don't be harsh on people, but be harsh on yourself so you can develop, so you can grow. And, people who love you will be honest with you in their feedback. So surround yourself with people that give you honest feedback. Don't have just fans who cheer you on. Yes, you need those as well. But also have people who criticize you in a healthy way, people who give you an honest feedback, because these are the people that help you grow, that help you develop. You need those around you as well. So thank them for doing that. Number 7, I am inspired by the success of others and I can learn from them. So I'm not jealous, I'm not selfish, and I'm not jealous. And I don't envy those people who are successful out there. I don't see them as competition, but I see them as role models from whom I can learn. I can cheer them on, I can celebrate their victories, and I can learn from them. I look at them, I learn from them, I engage with them, I network with them, I try and get as much out of them and give them as much as I can. I celebrate. This world is big enough for all of us, this business world, whatever area you're in. Let me tell you, there's enough for everybody. There's an abundance of everything for everybody. You don't have to hate anyone. You don't have to envy anyone. You don't have to step over anyone. You can be successful by loving others. You can be successful by celebrating what others do. In fact, you don't even want to win if those people around you don't win. It's basically saying, I don't want my success at your expenditure. I don't want to have money and for you to lose out. I will only win if you win. I will only be successful if you're successful. Imagine if we have that attitude. That is very powerful. That is what a growth mindset does and has. Number 8, I like to try new things. Do you like to try new things? When's the last time you tried something totally new? When's the last time you dressed totally outside your comfort zone? When's the last time you had a new hairstyle? Maybe a new facial, like me in this time. When's the last time you did something totally out of the norm? When you go home tonight or this afternoon, do you go home the same way? Do you take the public transport? Is it always the same way? Why don't you go home another way? Why don't you drive another street? Why don't you catch another bus or another train and go on a different route? Why don't you walk somewhere else? Why don't you run somewhere else? Why don't you meet new people? Why don't you explore your region? Even if it's a lockdown, let's say now with COVID. Why don't you go in a different park? Why don't you take the kids? Kids are always excited to try new things. Bring the child back in you. Explore new horizons. Get used to discovering new things. Get excited about new things. Try new gadgets. If you're an Android lover, try an iPhone. If you're an iPhone lover, try an Android. Do something out of the norm, Just break the monotony in your life. Grow, grow, grow. Try new things all the time. Number 9, success is trying. Failure is giving up. Even if you fail, if you've tried and given you 100%, that's the success. We all like the results, we don't like the process. We like the end result, but we don't like the process. We don't grow with end results, we grow with processes. So just know that your effort is very, very important. Put the effort, give it 100%, doesn't matter, win or lose. Just pour yourself in whatever you're doing. Do it with all your heart, do it with all your mind, do it with all your head, with absolutely everything. Just pour yourself into it, and it doesn't matter. The result will come in itself. Just make sure that success is when you tried, and you tried your best. And that's it. And number 10, consider others affected by emotions. So if I'm a person who wants to develop and to grow, I'm aware not only what happens to me when I have the right or the wrong attitude, but how does my behavior, how do my emotions, how do my words, how do my attitudes affect those people around me, especially those people that I love and love me, my family, my children, my work colleagues, those people who work with me or for me or employ me. How does my attitude influence and affect them? If I have a fixed attitude, a very rigid attitude, does it affect my family? Does it affect my children? Does it affect those people around me? If I'm full of passion, full of energy, full of buoyancy, excited about every day and ready to take on the life challenges, imagine the influence and the effect that I have on other people. This passion, it just, fires up the other people as well. If I'm always stuck into a rattle and just into a dark world, how does that influence those people around me? So a fixed mindset doesn't want to move. A growth mindset is always enthusiastic and ready for new things. Imagine how much better this world could be if people embraced a growth mindset. So I've given you the 10 characteristics of a growth mindset, and I'm sure that you would have ticked some with flying colors, and for some there's a lot of room for improvement. You go through them at your own pace. You have them in the notes there. I want you to also change your vocabulary. So I spoke about there, I put a little section about an empowering vocabulary. Empowering words that you can say to yourself, they will change your attitude. So the first one has to do with I cannot. How often do you say I can't? Oh, look, I cannot, I cannot. Well, you got to be decisive. Can you or can you not? Will you or will you not? So rather than say to people, oh, look, can you come and No, no, no. Don't say I can't or I cannot. Just say I will or I will not. Because when you say I will, that means you've made up your mind. You're decisive. When you say that I can't, that means, well, show me that. You're almost throwing the ball back in their court and saying to them, well, show me that I can. So if you go, let's say, you go to a car dealer, right? And they present you with a car and they say, buy this car. And you say, no, no, I can't, it's $30,000. It's above my budget. I'm looking for a $25,000 car. What will the dealer say to you? I'm so sorry, well, that you can't buy it. Just go away. Come back when you've got $30,000. No, no, no. They'll say to you, oh, you can't? Well, let me show you that you can. Let me show you how you can, because you left the door open. But when you're decisive, when you say, I will not buy this car because my budget is set at $25,000, basically you've made up your mind and you walk away. They know that you have decided. So you can control where you're going with this communication, with this conversation. With a growth mindset, you make the decisions. You don't let others make the decision for you. The second aspect there in changing the vocabulary is, it's not my fault. How many times have we used this excuse? It's not my fault. Imagine if everybody said, I am totally responsible. If you own the mistakes, if you own up to those things where you failed, imagine how much better this world would be when everybody faces their own struggles and the problems they've caused. So just have the capacity and the attitude to man up and say exactly if it's your own fault. Some people say it's a problem. Well, a growth mindset person says it's an opportunity. People see a problem, you see an opportunity. Imagine that. Oh, I can't wait. I was working once for a not-for-profit organization for a while, and people said to me, Natanael, do you ever get any problems, any issues in your work? I said, mate, my office door is always open. Everybody who enters through that door brings a problem to me. Problems are part of my day. Every single day, that's all I do. I solve problems. I solve problems. It's not like, they're challenges, but I welcome them because they're opportunities. Every time I solve a problem, I've grown, I've developed, and I've empowered other people to do the same. So they're opportunities for us to help others, to bless others, for us to grow, to develop, and to overcome challenges that come our way. Then the saying, I'm never satisfied. Well, why don't we turn that around and say, I want to learn and grow. From this experience, yeah, I'm not happy with the current situation, but I want to learn and grow. I want to learn how I can do this better. I want to grow. I'm not happy where I am. Rather than saying, I'm not happy where I am, you say, I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to develop. I get up at 5 because I want to grow. I do this course because I want to develop. I meet up with these people because I want to expand my network. Whatever it is, just put it in a positive language. Some people say life's a struggle. No, life's an adventure. Imagine if we change that and stop complaining and whinging and saying, life's an adventure. Another challenge, tomorrow morning, no problem, bring it on. Take it as an adventure. Take it as a new challenge in your way. Then there's the if only. How many times did we say, if only have I done that? If only I didn't say that, if only. Well, you can't change the past, but you can change the future. So rather than saying, if only, say next time. So say, next time I know what to do. Next time I will do this. Next time I will act like this. Next time I see the opportunity, I will snap it. For us here in Australia, a lot has to do with real estate, for example. It's just the way Australia is wired. So people buy, sell real estate, there's cycles, it's going up, down. Maybe that happens with stock market in other places or Bitcoin or whatever you're investing in. So there's a lot of real estate here. And so many times I used to think, man, I saw that deal. If only I would have bought it then. If only I did that back then, I would have been so much better off. Well, I can't live in the past because I can't go back to the past and make those decisions. But what I've changed my mind to do now, and I've trained it, is when I see these opportunities, I jump for them. I don't wait, I don't hesitate. I've learned the cycles, I've learned the patterns of the real estate market. And when an opportunity comes, now I just go for it because now it's the next time. And if I miss it, it'll be if only. You see it? So that's why it's important to know how to jump on things and move on. It's terrible. That's the last one in the empowering your vocabulary. Well, it's not terrible. It's a learning experience. So what happened there, it's horrible. Yes, to some people it may be terrible and horrible, but to you, it's a learning experience. Imagine if you were wired to think that way. Imagine how better you would come out of challenges, out of downtimes, out of those things that basically invade your life no matter what. But you come on top because you have a growth mindset and you're able to shift yourself and rise yourself above the storms that come in your life. You have an opportunity for applying some of these in your daily life. And I've put there this challenge. Become active in your awareness. So remember, we're talking in this first part of a bit of clarity about awareness. Become active in your awareness of your mindset. So think about, what am I doing? Do I have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset towards this? What is my attitude? Check your attitude. Always check your attitude towards the decisions that you make. And I said here, keep a journal of the shifts from a fixed to a growth mindset. What do you need to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Where do you need to apply this growth mindset? Where are the minuses in your life? Where are the missing pieces of the puzzle? And act towards that and develop a growth mindset. Well, I'm sure that there are many things that you can apply that we talked about today. I'm truly hoping that this content is relevant and beneficial to you. I'd like to know how beneficial it is to you, in fact. So if you can write a comment or send some feedback, rate us, we love 5 stars, of course. Distribute it, share with other people, whether you're on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Android or Google. Just share the good news and let others also benefit from this learning. And if we've impacted you in any way, shape or form, do let us know because we love to hear those things from you. They encourage us and they build us up as well. Well, until next time, Natanael Costea here in Australia, enjoying the beautiful summer here, whatever's left of it. I hope that you're well, and this bit of clarity gives you quite a bit of clarity so you can be more in tune with yourself and in tune with others. Thanks for being with us.
I'm Dr. Natanael Costea, and I thank you so much for joining me on this journey of clarity through emotional and spiritual awareness. If you feel blessed by this presentation, please subscribe, rate, comment, and share it wherever you're enjoying it. And until next time, this was a bit of clarity.